What's good with your fam? Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talking nothing but this boxing. Hey, listen, man. I want to thank you all for tuning into the channel, man. If you're new to the channel, I want you to think about subscribing as we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, man. For those of you that was on the live stream last night, I do apologize. As we was doing a live stream, my iPad battery did die. You know what I'm saying? I had the thing charged, had the charger plugged up to it, but for some reason, I don't know what was going on, but it died, man. So again, I apologize for those that was on the live stream and it cut off on you, man. But we was having a good time, like we always do during our lives, man. But I did watch the fight. And I gotta admit, it was a decent fight. It wasn't no robbery. I scored the fight 116-112 for Canelo Alvarez, man. Daniel Jacobs, he just was too cautious. He came out and started too slow. He has, I don't know how many inches he has over Canelo, man. He's just towering over Canelo, but yet he's acting like he's scared to get touched by Canelo. He's letting Canelo back him up. Early on, he was just, jumping out the way like he was about to get hit by a bus when Canelo swung during those early rounds, man. He was just showing Canelo way too much respect, far as I'm concerned, man. I think that, Daniel Jacobs, man, he had all the physical advantages. You know what I mean? What was the use of you coming in overweight and paying almost $1 million of your purse if you was not going to be physical with Canelo Alvarez? You understand what I'm saying? If you was not going to go in there and try to use your physical size advantage on Canelo, what was the point of that? I don't understand it, unless he just could not make the weight. I don't know, man. But Daniel Jacobs, he fought a decent fight. You know what I'm saying? He fought a decent fight. In my opinion, he did not want it enough. He did not want it enough, man. When you're in these type of fights, these championship fights, these legendary fights that can make or break your legacy, man, I think you got to go out there and put everything on the line, man. Daniel Jacobs didn't put everything on the line. Canelo Alvarez didn't put everything on the line, but Canelo, he didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to. Whether you like it or not, Canelo is Canelo, and you know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is, man. When you're fighting a guy like Canelo, same thing with Floyd. You know what I'm saying? He's the cash cow. He's the guy that make the world go round out there in Vegas, man. Taking nothing away from Canelo. He won that fight. You know what I'm saying? He did way more than Danny Jacobs, man. Excuse me. He did what he wanted to do. Daniel Jacobs was missing a lot of punches. I was impressed with Canelo's head movement. He looked like a young Joe Frazier. You know how Joe Frazier used to move his head? There was times in that fight where Canelo was just moving his head so brilliantly, man, making Danny Jacobs miss all type of shots, man. It was real impressive. I gotta admit, it was definitely impressive, man. Danny Jacobs seemed like he was just satisfied that Canelo didn't blow him out the water. You understand what I'm saying? He was just satisfied that, he can go in there and can compete with Canelo, you know what I mean, and not get washed out completely. And that's how I seen it, man. And then I noticed, during the post-fight interview, man, that he kind of tried to throw his corner under the bus. You know what I'm saying? He tried to say that, in between rounds, his corner was telling him that he was doing good. So that's the reason why he didn't up the tempo, that he didn't go all out, because his corner led him to believe that, he was winning the fight, that he was doing good, man. And I didn't necessarily hear that, but I do think that, Andre Rozier, and I'm not sure who the other guy was, man. That's the first time I really seen that dude there. And he had an opportunity to speak a couple times in between rounds. I'm not sure who he was, but Andre Rozier gave him enough respect to let him speak to Danny during some of those breaks, man. But yeah, man, Andre Rozier was trying to tell him what to do. You know what I'm saying? To be more aggressive, to throw more punches, and it seemed like there was portions of the round where Danny, he had the opportunity to let his hands go, and he didn't let them go, man. It was like, he'll land a good shot, and then he'll stand back and watch. Like, damn, I got that shot in. You know what I mean? Like, he was just content with the crowd saying ooh and ah at that one shot that, he let the rest of the round get away from him. You understand what I'm saying? But, shouts out to Canelo, man. He won that fight fair and square. Danny Jacobs, like I've been saying, if you go back to my videos when I first started this YouTube thing, I did a couple videos on Danny Jacobs, man, where I said, even in this video before this fight, man, I told you guys that Danny Jacobs does not have that killer instinct, man. He does not have that third gear, you know what I'm saying, when it's crunch time, when everything's on the line, to take it up that extra notch to go ahead and win the fight, man. He doesn't have it. You know what I'm saying? And it was evident last night, man. He did not do it. You know what I'm saying? He did not do it. And I think if he tried, he would have been more successful, because he was definitely the bigger man, man. A lot of his punches, he was at a disadvantage a little bit, because he was so much taller than Canelo that, all Canelo had to do is bend down a little bit, and Danny Jacobs was missing shots. You understand what I'm saying? But that's not Canelo's fault. You know what I mean? There was a lot of, I believe, blows that were below the belt, you know what I'm saying, because of how small Canelo was to Danny Jacobs, man. But, it wasn't over no legendary fight. It wasn't no classic, but it was a decent fight. If I was judging it from 1 to 10, I would give it a nice 7. You know what I'm saying? It was good. You could tell both of these guys were on the top level. You understand what I'm saying? But, none of them went all the way out like we wanted to. I mean, there was flashes, during the later part of that fight where we thought, okay, it's about to get busy, where they shared some exchanges that led us to believe that it was about to get good. But, it seemed like Danny Jacobs was just happy that, he can have a little bit of shine in those rounds instead of going for broke. You know what I'm saying? And it was obvious that he was definitely behind, during the later part of that fight, where he needed to step on the gas. And, in some instances, I think he tried. You know what I'm saying? He tried, you know what I mean? He did more than he did in the first half of the fight, but it just wasn't enough to get the W. You understand what I'm saying? It just wasn't enough to get the W, man. But I don't know where Danny Jacobs goes from here, man. He's talked about that the weight might have been too much. He might go up to 168, man. I don't know if those guys will be, a little bit too big for him. But we'll see, man. We'll see what's up with him, man. Canelo Alvarez, they keep mentioning Triple G. I don't think Canelo really wants to fight Triple G a third time. I really don't think that, although both fights was real good, man. If I'm Canelo, I'm looking at it like this, man. There's no need to fight again. You know what I'm saying? There's no need to fight again, man. You want to be great. You want to cement your legacy. You go after Demetrius Andre. You know what I'm saying? You go off undisputed. You go after undisputed, man. That will cement your place in history in the middleweight division, man. You go after Demetrius Andre and you try to be undisputed, man. I think Demetrius Andre will put up a better fight than Daniel Jacobs, man. I think Demetrius got a little bit more dog in him than Jacobs. You know what I'm saying? I think he got a little bit more grit and a little bit more toughness, in my opinion, than Daniel Jacobs, man. I think it would be a better fight, man. I'm not sure that he can win the fight, you know what I'm saying? But it's a fight that I think would be, interesting to watch. You know what I'm saying? I think it would be interesting to watch, man. Canelo Alvarez has all the options in the world. He could do, a lot of different things, man. And, they talked about him going up to 168, possibly unifying up there. They talked about him maybe fighting Triple G again. They talked about Callum Smith, you know what I'm saying? Then you got Jamal Charlo, who's been a mandatory for over a year now. I think since April of last year, he was mandatory. Sergey Derevyanchenko now became the mandatory for the IBF strap. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to put him in timeout also, man. These guys, they're not going to get a shot unless Canelo wants to give them a shot, whether they're mandatory or not. I don't think the sanctioning bodies are going to press the issue just because they know that Canelo will drop that belt. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like the pressure that sanctioning bodies, put on him, he'll drop the belt. He done it in the past with the WBC. He'll do it again. You know what I'm saying? So rather than press the issue, they rather get a percentage of these mega purses that he's involved in. So Jamal Charlo and Derevyanchenko and guys like that, they're just going to be on the outside looking in until Canelo Alvarez decides that he wants to give him an opportunity, man. It's all on him, man. He's in the driver's seat. He's calling the shot. He's the big dog. He's Big Willie. You understand what I'm saying? He's running this boxing game, man. And, that's evident of the things that he's doing. You understand what I'm saying? But all in all, it was a decent fight. It was a decent fight. I'm kind of upset. I didn't know that we had fights here in the city, man. I could have rolled up to the Meadows, man, and seen my guy Big Chief fight. Morgan Fitch, he was fighting last night. He got the W. Shout out to him, man. But yeah, I would have definitely been up there checking that out, man, and would have caught the zone on the replay, man. But that's all I got, man. That's all I got. It was a real decent fight for the zone. It wasn't a disaster. It wasn't a mega success. But yeah, it was cool. It was all right. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime and in between time, I want y'all to stay blessed and keep on supporting this sport that we love called boxing. Peace. I'll holla back.